Hello and welcome. It is Sunday, it is afternoon, and I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood, back for another lazy Sunday afternoon productivity stream. I got my snacks, I've got some water, and I might even try and get a little bit done today. I don't know if it'll be writing, but it'll be writing tangential at least. So,
Writing
uh,
adjacent.
oh, hello, Savvy is here. Hello, Savvy. And Savvy likes my necklace. It's a little dragon. Can you see the little dragon? Hide my face.
We
Anyway,
have a
okay.
we have a focusing issue with
I'm
things.
glad you like my necklace. So, with me today, I have Doc. Sako is probably joining us later. She had an appointment that ended at 5:30, so hopefully we'll be getting her later. So, say hi to the nice people, Doc.
Hello, nice people.
When will that get old? Never, because Morgan is easily amused.
And hello to all of you not nice people. Eventually you'll learn. No, but
Right?
right.
We'll learn you good.
We'll learn you. No. So
Uh,
so this is kind of a new experience with the fact that now that I've got extra screens,
mhm.
I'm able to bring up I have the studio right in front of me so I can look at the camera and say hi. I've got Twitch over to one side and I've got YouTube over to the other. And when you bring up the feed, you just start in right away, and Twitch is playing a pizza commercial.
That's a
so,
problem.
so anyone who joined us right away from Twitch, read the captions. You'll know who we are. You probably know anyway because you were subscribed, right? You were subscribed.
So, okay. And I see Devin joined us. Hello, Devin. So,
Uh,
okay. Well, let's talk about what are we working on today. What are you working on today, Doc?
I am continuing work on my short story, which is due to the editor by the end of the month. Um, I had hoped vainly, I had hoped last week that I would start off on it and I would get enough done that I would have it done by the end of the week. And then, like Wednesday, I went into work and made it about to lunchtime and just said, I'm too tired for this, and came home and napped and spent the rest of the week sick at home, not writing.
Oh
But
no.
I am now better rested. So
Okay.
I expect to be able to get some productivity in today and try to leverage that to get me productive all the rest of the week.
That sounds reasonable.
I talk a real good game.
So, I am going to be working on my weekly roundup and prepping this coming week's author spotlight video. And, oh, wait, it's not a video, it's a blog post. And other than that, I might start on some writing stuff. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It could happen. Oh, right. I was going to start looking at places to submit some short stories and some poetry too. So I think last year I wrote some poems that I was super proud of that I really want to find an audience for. So
So you're using Submission Grinder?
I am using Submission Grinder, not grinder without the E.
Yeah.
It's
And not and
diabolicalplots.com.
not Grinder without the submission. Not that kind
Yes.
of submission.
Nope. Nope. So, Savvy Writes Books is working on a bookstore romance novella. So that's on my to read list already. Oh, all I've been reading are romances, mostly either contemporary or paranormal. So, you know, yeah. Although there's a Regency author or two I have been following. So, anyway, and yet my to read bookcase back there next to the
Yeah.
tree grows, and there's a whole bag of books that I couldn't even put on there because gravity.
Hey, yours are at least unpacked. Uh,
Oh, I visited my mom and she sent another bag back
uh,
with me. or rather she said, "Go through the bag of books," and there were
No,
3 of them, and I only adopted 1 bag, so
no, no, I mean, my to read pile got bigger than I was, and then it fell over, and my wife made me pack it into boxes. So,
Oh, no. Oh,
I've got my
no.
to read boxes upstairs.
Sure. Yeah. Savvy says they are having fun writing cheesy Hallmark style romances. I'm here for it. And Devin recommends Published to Death blog post. Yeah, they have their monthly call to submissions, but most of those do end up on the submission grinder. But yeah, that's another website that's really helpful if you're looking for places to submit short stories and stuff too. So, so yeah, okay. Well, we are here. We've talked about what we're working on. Is it time for a sprint?
Probably is.
Savvy says, let's see if I can finish this story today. It's a tall order because there's 4 chapters to go, but they are short. Fingers crossed. I'm rooting for you. So let's have me stop talking and let's actually get to the writing productivity part of this stream. So let's look at my Chrome tabs. I'm sharing the audio and there's the timer. And as always, Morgan is easily amused. So we're going to do 23-minute sprints. Um, so let's go ahead because it's 2023. So let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1. Boom, chakalaka laka. And we're back. So, hello, and now we have a wild Sako has joined
Yay!
us. Yay! Oh, so let's see. In the chat while we were gone, Devin said I was going to make him wait until 2017 for a 75-minute sprint, but it might actually happen earlier. I did the 75-minute sprint when I was trying to get through a beta read, and if I'm doing another beta read, it could happen again.
I think that was 2075.
Oh, yes, that one. Yes. What did I say?
You
17.
said 2017. It's like that's 5 years ago. So
Mm.
Uh, Doc suggested you offer me cash or a publishing contract. Devin has offered 75 cents, but I'm pretty sure they're 75 Canadian cents. So,
yeah, that's not a lot at a Canadian cent a minute. So
Catticus forced me to take a 2-minute break so he could gnaw on my arm,
hmm.
but I did get 90% of a weekly roundup done. I'm just down to what's new from previous Author Spotlight interview guests. So, how was your sprint?
Let's see. It took me a little bit to get started, but I got in 221 words.
Nice.
So that's not bad. Um, I've got horses and men screaming and all kinds of mayhem ensuing. But
Yeah.
um, unfortunately, I'm a little afraid that I may end up having to cut this in order to get this story on target. But
Oh.
I'm at least getting the events down, and I'll figure out how I'm going to express them later.
And what are you going to be working on today, Sako?
Probably my graphic novel or a little bit of self care because I've been in nonstop Zoom calls all day.
I get that.
So I might smoke a cigarette, maybe grab something to eat.
Legit. So,
Also, thank you, Savvy.
yes. It totally looks super cozy there. Savvy got 1,246 words done because Savvy is a champ.
That's a lot
That's a
of words in
lot.
23
That's a
minutes.
lot. Savvy got through most of this chapter in the bookstore romance and has a little more to finish in this chapter. And then, if our next sprint is longer, probably not, should get the next chapter done. Wow. Super productive. Savvy
Hmm.
is on fire. Devin did food. Oh, what is your snack of the day? Or lunch or dinner? I don't know what meal you're on. Because, as we all know, Morgan is a snack fueled writer. Today, I started off with some intense dark sea salt almond
Ooh,
from Ghirardelli.
hell
So
yeah.
that was tasty.
Haven't seen the sea salt almond before. Been the sea
Right?
salt caramels, but not the
It
almond.
was in a combo of like the dark chocolate ones,
Mm.
and I am not sad. Just saying. So, oh, Savvy says they've been on a speed writing kick lately, trying to write 2,500 words in an hour on average. It's all about moving forward with no shame. That's awesome. I'm super excited that it's working for you. So, are you snack fueled? Or are you just like heads down and let's get through this? What is Doc's snack today? Is it the turtle popcorn? Oh no. Oh,
Oh,
I've got the
mini
nice.
turtle popcorn, but these are the little
cinnamon
cinnamon
bites.
rolls.
Oh,
Yay.
nice. My house smelled like cinnamon rolls yesterday, and I thought my roommate was making some, but no, she was making a cinnamon pie. So,
Cinnamon pie sounds good.
excellent. Savvy's right with us with snack fueled. This sprint snack was a donut. Excellent. And coffee is going to be added shortly.
Yeah.
Nice. What are you snacking on today, Sako?
I don't know. I have the choice between chili and chicken stroganoff.
Mhm.
So I will snack on one or the other of those.
Dinner
Chili's
tonight is so easy for me. So easy. I have a leftover chicken pineapple pizza.
Hell yes.
Does pineapple belong on pizza? If I'm eating it, yes. If you're eating it, it's up to you. I I
I
find
enjoy
that
pineapple on my pizza.
pineapple cuts the grease and makes the pizza taste less greasy. And I've always been a sweet savory
Mhm.
fan, so
I
it
am
hits
also
me
a
in that
sweet and
space.
savory fan. Yeah.
I've always been a fan of just putting pineapple on the grill and serving it up as dessert. So,
Right, right. Oh, Bonnie's here. Hello. Bonnie is lurking while cleaning up the office. Always a good thing. I like I spent most of the day after New Year's. We had off from work before as New Year's Day observed,
Mhm.
and I
Hmm.
spent that day cleaning my desk area so that I could start off without it being so cluttered, cuz when it gets cluttered, it starts affecting my stress levels.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm not saying, my desk is spotless. I may have adjusted the camera so you can't see like empty dishes and um, but I got a lot of papers and stuff, and yeah, it was getting pretty bad. There was nowhere for Catticus to lounge, so other than on the keyboard, which
Is dicey at best.
is dicey. So, do we just want to dive into the next sprint?
Works for me.
Okay, let's do this.
Because you haven't gotten
Oh,
started yet. No.
Exactly.
right. Yeah, yeah. So, uh,
Did you
I
close your
lost the
timer
tab.
window?
I did, I did. Oh, here it is. Okay. So let's go ahead and reset this timer for 23 minutes because it's 2023 and Morgan's still easily amused. And let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1. Boom, chakalaka laka.
Lag.
And we're back. How was your sprint?
I did some self care things, and I opened up a website that I should have been working on over the last 2 days that I haven't been, and that has been my sprint.
Let's see. I'm now up to 445 words for the day, so I've got at least 200 more words in that sprint. A little bit more, but forgot to write down what I did the first sprint, so shame on me.
Yeah, it happens. So I got one of my posts out and I got figured out who my next author spotlight was on and started on that. I'm down to the last question, and next up is the shameless self promo section. So
Yay!
that should get done in the next sprint pretty easily. So popping over to the comments, Savvy got 1,093 words. Nice. A very solid sprint there.
Nice.
Oh,
Also, have you seen the way that Savvy outlines?
I think so,
Yeah.
but it's been a while.
She is very thorough. She is extremely thorough. So it is no wonder that she can just like whir through her story because she's basically written it already.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that works great for some people. And for others, it's like, I've already written this story. I have no inspiration. I want to explore something new. So,
So is this
yay.
like the snowflake method or something where the outline
Yeah.
is like really detailed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really fun watching her and RK write Cancel Sean Boston. Yeah.
Yeah, Savvy says, my outlines for Cancel Sean Boston were especially thorough because RK and I write together at the same time.
Mhm.
These romances have outlines too, so that's helpful. So,
Mhm.
okay. I just have bullet points, and I think
Me too.
yeah.
I'm
I
like
did,
half pantser, half outliner because I have prompts for my scenes, but that's where the planning stops, and I just pants the rest of it.
yeah, I think I outlined both too high and too low for my last story. Um, because I didn't give myself enough wiggle room, but I gave myself so many details that it was easy to write the scene I described, but it was really hard to get from one scene to the next because I didn't give enough room for organic flow. So it hit a weird spot. I don't know that necessarily the story was ready to be written, which might have been part of it. So
Savvy, like I understand the plight that you're in, but my advice, and this is how BC and I did it, was when one person was writing, the other person was editing the last chunk, and that knocked out one of the revisions just by itself. Like
nice.
it was that way we could keep track of who was writing what and then what we revealed in that chapter, and then we could take that into consideration when we wrote the next chapter.
Yeah. Savvy says that's a smart way to do it. I think we might try that for the next one.
I was going to say that sounds a lot like how T. Morris and Philippa Ballantyne wrote on their first couple of books together. That they would take turns writing chapters. So one would be researching while the other one would write, and then they'd hand off the chapter.
Yeah, that
And
was basically what we did. Yeah.
now, of course, part of what helped them in this is the fact that Pitt was still living in New Zealand at the time, so they were literally writing round the clock because as one shift would clock out, the other shop would clock in. So made them, pardon me, very
Yeah,
practical.
that was kind of how we did it. It was the first half of the week she had the document, and the second half of the week I had the document. We both had access to it, but
Mhm.
like as far as who was editing and who was writing at the time, just like we flip flopped chapters.
Did the schedule and the scheduled handoff help keep productivity up because you're like, I don't want her
Yes,
to be waiting on me and they don't want to be waiting on.
yes. We kept each other accountable, which
Yeah.
is why it only took us a year from concept to you know
Nice.
publish like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think we would have probably sat on it for a while.
Yeah. Not with writing, but my current roommate and I, neither of us wanted the other one to think we're the slacker. So we're both, you know, oh, I got to the dishes before you and that kind of thing. So, when you have that respect for the other person and you don't want to be seen as the weak link, that can definitely help motivate moving forward. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness, the yawns. Oh, is it stretch break time? I think it's stretch break time. Oh,
I don't know.
Oh, I needed it. I needed it. I have this spot in my shoulder where every time I go to lift something,
oh no.
even my water bottle, like it's basically in my shoulder on the edge
Hmm.
of my shoulder blade.
Have you tried the like lean against a wall with the tennis ball kind of thing?
I'm afraid to push it
Yeah.
because like any pressure on it is
Hmm.
like kind of owie, and
So you
lifting
said it's
things is kind of owie.
yeah. You said it's on like the outside.
It's yeah, it's basically in the shoulder, but it's
Mhm.
part of the shoulder blade.
So hear me weirdness. Okay. Try foam rolling the back and then the armpit because
Okay,
of where it connects in so that it's not directly on there, but it might be a knot further out that'll loosen up.
sweet. I will do
So
that.
that's my
I will do that
suggestion.
next sprint, in fact.
And hydrate.
Yeah, I've been hydrated quite well the past
Good.
week or so because
Yeah.
this thing is wonderful and keeps me
Mhm.
drinking.
Yeah. Are you bullet journaling this year?
I am.
Oh, good. Okay. I am continuing in my dedication to not bullet journaling
Oh,
because, well, I
Oh,
like
it
to have
worked so
things in
well for you last
priority
time.
order. And if things aren't in priority order, then I want to rip out the page and start over. And I find that very stressful. So I do everything digitally so I can click and drag.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I have a friend who does the same thing, and she's like, "You need to make journal themes for people who do it digitally." And so that's been on the back burner for a while
Okay.
now.
Yeah, I just use Trello and I mean it really helps with me. So
Hmm.
I've got a whole blog and video about it if you're curious. Um, but yeah, work just got me really used to being able to visually see what's on my to-do list and stuff like that. And you can
Hmm.
put internal checklists for each item. And if you remember something later, you can go back and add it without like having all the lines off because you already filled in and there's no space to insert the thing in the middle. And
Yeah, I got you.
so yeah, it's just the way my brain works.
And it's so nice to have
You
that
know, I
Kanban
have a
board if you've got multiple things going, right?
yeah, I have a Trello, but I was using it to plan books,
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
and I've kind of ignored it for a while, but I should look back into it and see what I left behind.
Yeah, if it works, use it. If it stops working, stop using it. That's that's my big thing is,
Oh,
a
I did an
process.
art cue. I
Oh,
did an art,
fun. Okay.
like I think it was for commissions.
Yeah, when you did the the short commissions.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
And the
that's
long ones, the long
oh
commissions are
yeah.
in here too.
Okay. Yeah. I just people who get dedicated to a process over the results, it's a problem because, it's really easy to fall into the pattern of I know what I'm doing when, but if it's not getting you closer to your goals, maybe it's time to revisit that. I went over my social media stats for last year and my growth has completely stagnated. So I don't know if it's I've hit the reach that I'm going to have, or if I'm getting dry and stale, or my platforms are dying. I don't know. Maybe all three. Um, so, but my numbers aren't dropping off. So maybe it's still worth the investment. I don't know. I don't know. And nobody knows, nobody can really tell me. So it's,
How long have your numbers been plateaued?
um, this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do an annual, yeah. So if you look at my blog or the vlog, you can
Okay.
see all the previous years and you can see, how it tracks because I like spreadsheets.
See, I would also be interested in seeing how much those numbers change over
Mhm.
the course of the year. You can determine if are there seasons where more people are looking for stuff.
Oh, there's
No.
definitely different seasons,
Hmm.
but the follower, I stopped scrumming for followers. I'm
Hmm.
like, I've hit which might be part of the lack of growth is, I'm not going around following new people. So that's definitely on me because the best way to get more followers is to follow other people and interact with them because
Yeah.
so many people are out here shouting into the void and they're not looking for you, but if you find them, then, they're happy to follow you back.
There's
So,
there's also the aspect of what other people are doing to mess
mhm.
up social media.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
people who've been heavily invested in Twitter have had a lot of issues with
Mhm.
the things that Elon
Yeah.
Musk has done since he took control of it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I ran across somebody on Twitter saying that TikTok is the best thing ever and abandon all of their social media platforms. And I was like, hey, so TikTok is the best great thing right now. Super glad it's working for you. Does not all social media platforms have an ebb and a flow?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you want something you can control that you can't get blocked off of, which is why I have a website on top of all the platforms and I
Mhm.
try to direct people to my sites over the social media platforms because they come and go and they're very um you know hit or miss. So Savvy hates TikTok too. And
Oh,
has one mostly for doll stuff, but I barely use it. Yeah, I watch Facebook Reels. Which are mostly TikToks,
Mhm.
and I don't watch them through Instagram because then my feed on Instagram turns into just Reels, and I want to see people I'm following. But if
Mhm.
I watch Facebook Reels, it doesn't mess with my algorithm for what my regular feed is. So and I definitely went through a sprint or, a whatever earlier this year where I was watching a lot of reels, but I'm mostly off that because they've started to get really repetitive, So, Devin said MySpace was the greatest thing ever at one point. Yeah. Yeah. Live journal, dead journal, whatever,
Yeah.
was huge and then it's gone and you need
Well,
to
Live
think about.
Journal's still out there. It's just the Russians own it.
Yeah, yeah, and the switch over to Dream with lost a lot of people.
Mhm.
So you never know what the next social media platform is, and I like to at least claim my name, but I'm not necessarily going to dive in and do the biggest thing. I am trying to make more reels, um, and stories and stuff, and seeing how they do, but they're not going to have long stories, especially don't have longevity. They end. And Instagram moved from posts to stories to reels, so they keep switching up how they even work.
Yeah.
And so, the flux is it's a lot. And as I keep reminding myself, my social media is to support my writing and not my writing to support my social media. I need to invest my time where I want to see the results.
Yes.
And, there's always the thought of, oh, but, your social media reach, helps inform how big your audience might be if I try to go indie. And, I feel like I've put in the time. I've done a lot of investment in social media, and I just don't think that my platform is big enough to go indie. Maybe I have super high expectations for where I want to launch stuff, but I
Mhm.
just, I feel like I have hustled the social media game as hard as I can, and I don't think I have the audience to do what I would like to do if I went indie. But then again, my writing might speak for itself, and I might do amazing stuff just on the basis of the quality of the writing. And maybe I'm letting fear hold me back.
Well,
But publishing is skill, timing, and luck. And, I might have one, but that doesn't mean I'm going to have luck and timing.
yeah.
So, okay.
But
Well,
I was going to
uh-huh.
say the other thing is looking at how how do your followers like consuming media? So it's like
Yes.
if you're the idea of doing a TikTok to support your writing is kind of iffy because it's like people on TikTok like short videos.
Book talk is a huge thing though, and it
Yeah.
has sold some people billions of books. But a lot of it is luck and timing,
Hmm.
as well as, the quality of the writing. So
Yeah.
some
And
needed
if you
mhm,
and sorry, I know I gotta
no,
go, but
yeah,
if you get banned, then you're not
yeah,
gonna reach anybody.
yeah, and
This is true.
you have no control over that. So Sako, tell people where they can find you, and then go eat your dinner.
Howdy, neighbors. I'm Sako, also known as Cass Voit, and I write horror and do a bunch of other stuff too. You can Google me at Psycho Sako or Sako Tumi. I'm on most social media.
Thank you for dropping
Okay.
by, Sako.
Okay. Well, thank y'all for letting me get that rant out. So, oh, yeah, Devin knows what a band feels like. Oh, and you can't control it. You have no control over the
Mhm.
platforms when they decide, oh, what you're doing is against the rules, even though we never said it was against the rules.
Yeah.
Um, and it's completely ridiculous and arbitrary. And sometimes, you ask people to review the algorithms and they give you two middle fingers and roll on with their day. And there's most of us have no way to appeal that.
Yeah.
So,
Because the guy with the big sack of money comes along and says, you're breaking the rules.
yeah, yeah, or the algorithm does, and nobody cares enough to look back to review,
Yeah.
and your account's just gone.
I was going
So,
to say people have lost accounts for publishing their own music.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Devin lost his account for sharing playlists of author tubers with no
mhm.
original content, which is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard of in my life. And they won't do appeals or anything. And okay, anyway,
Yeah.
I could rant all day, but Devin, we support you. And I'm really glad you can join on Twitch because feels not positive ones aimed at YouTube for their behavior on your account.
I could have ranted all night. I could have ranted all night and still come back for more.
Pretty much. So anyway, it is 5:50. Let's get one more sprint in.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1. Boom. Chakalaka. And we're back.
Ta-da.
How was your sprint?
Mine was going pretty good. I actually stopped while we had a few seconds left and did up my numbers, and I did another 328 words this sprint.
Nice.
So I'm up to pace, and that feels good.
Yeah, that's always a good feel. I finished one author spotlight and I started on the next, trying to get ahead or, try to keep up with prepping the ones as they come in rather than prepping them when they go up on the blog, if
Mhm.
that makes sense. So I'm just trying to get a little ahead. So once I get that feedback from that final beta reader, I can really dive in and not have to worry too much about the blog. It'll take care of itself, kind of,
Mhm.
So, so yeah,
Set it up so you can shift your concentration for a little while.
exactly. So yeah, pretty solid sprint. Feeling pretty glad about how it is. Yawn.
Although now that one of the things that is the condition on this short story is that there needs to be a cliffhanger around about 1,000 words into it, and I'm already over that, and I haven't quite gotten to that space, so I'm going to have to be doing some cutting later. But
Yeah,
I'd
that's a
rather have words.
problem.
I'd rather have words to cut than words that uh 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 that I'm short. So
Yeah, and that's a problem for tomorrow, Doc.
yeah,
Not today, Doc.
yeah.
Although tomorrow, Doc might be kind of annoyed at you.
He'll get over it. No.
Ah,
Honestly, I've got a lot of dark stumbling around in the woods that I can cut, so
uh,
I think I'm good.
that makes sense. Yeah. And, 5 to 10 pages each way, I think, is wiggleable for a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So I don't
Okay.
know how precise your pacing needs to be.
I'm not sure either, but we'll find out.
So we have 14 minutes left. Do we want to call it early? Do we want to do a 5-minute sprint? What do you think? Do we just
I'm
want to
I'm
talk?
I'm more inclined to chit chat than try to do a 5-minute sprint.
Sure. Okay. That sounds reasonable to me.
I was
Uh,
just say, how did everybody out there do on their sprint? You did something
right.
right.
I mean,
Not
yeah,
for
yeah. Yeah, I yawned. Does that count? Oh,
like
wow. That's
cats
a
have
big yawn.
maintained their marathon sleeping session. So
I mean, let's see if we can get Catticus. Do you see him napping behind the light umbrella?
mm, yep, he's perched up there on the top of his tree.
I mean, how else does he keep an eye on me? And the housemates that are in the sunroom. This way he can watch both ways.
Mm.
So. Oh no. Devin's like, dance, monkeys, dance.
We
We
are
should
not your monkeys.
we should sing a dance for 15 minutes. So Bonnie is making dinner and listening to a story playlist. What's your dinner? What are you having for dinner?
You're asking me or Bonnie?
I mean, everybody. We already
Eh,
discussed my pizza
this
plans.
is true. I don't know. I need to find out if my wife is going to continue to cave upstairs or if she's going to come down and join me. Um, I'm beginning to think that if I'm on my own, I might just do some chili and a couple grilled cheese sandwiches.
Yeah.
But
It is that kind of dreary, overcast, wintry day
mhm,
that chili is made for, at least here in the Virginia, D.C. metro area.
let's see.
So, Bonnie says dinner is going to be mashed potatoes, bacon wrapped loin, applesauce, and asparagus. Oh no, I had a bacon wrapped date that I left at my friend's house. They'd set 3 aside for me, and I only ate 2 of them. and it's like a date stuffed with cheese wrapped in bacon, and they're delicious, also known as meat candy. Um, and I only ate 2 of them, and there was 1 more
Hmm.
set aside for me that I'm not gonna get to eat.
How could
Moment
you
of
forget?
silence.
Yeah,
So and
we
Devin
used
had dinner for Sprint.
yeah.
Go ahead.
We used to have a guy at work that would always make those for any kind of work gathering, and yeah, those were always delicious. But it's like, he retired many years ago,
Mm.
and it's like I don't have a source of those now.
Oh,
I
no.
I must live without.
My brother-in-law's version is water chestnuts soaked in soy sauce and then wrapped in bacon
Uh huh.
and then dipped in sugar and microwaved until the bacon is done and the sugar is caramelized.
Microwave, but I guess if it works, it works.
It worked. He might have also baked them, but the microwave was more accessible at work.
Hmm.
And he had like one of those ceramic plates that had like the grooves so that the grease would have somewhere to go.
Okay,
And also didn't melt with the heat of the, bacon grease.
that would be important. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Bonnie was cooking for 5 and says, at this point, it's just a waiting game. So,
Hmm.
um, and over on Twitch, someone chatted at me. They're very sad that we set it up for a verified only chat setting. Um, Sorry, macaroon granola. We had some issues with spammers in the feed, so sorry. Oh, Bonnie successfully finished cleaning the desk. Yay! And Kelly is here. Hello, Kelly. Kelly got 2 paragraphs in with editing on a short story and finished eating a loin topped with smoked applewood bacon. Everybody's having apples and bacon today, or
Yeah, I was going
loin
to
and
say it's like
bacon.
I missed the bacon memo. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. So I have scones. I baked some scones today.
hmm,
So they have nuts and fruit in them. So they're sort of like fruit cake, only scones and delicious. So
you have to specify that because otherwise, when you say fruitcake scones, people start to worry. But no.
I know, I know. Fruit cake has like a reputation, but
Mhm.
I also my family has a tradition of what we call apple dapple cake, which is apples and walnuts in kind of like a spice cake, pound cake kind of thing
Okay,
that's done in one of those what's the cake dish with the hole in the middle?
the bunt pan.
The bunt pan. Yes. Um So, and unfortunately, I had to tell my mom that she needs to give me half of one rather than a whole one because I cannot eat that much cake before it goes bad, and that just makes me sad. So,
But you
oh,
have roommates now, won't they help? No.
she's celiac.
Ah.
So she is not helping with cake made with gluten, delicious
Mhm.
gluten. So Kelly says, speaking of macaroons, he says, those from Aldi be hidden hard. Did not know Aldi had quality macaroons, but that's good to know.
Well, it is the season for macaroons. If you enjoy macaroons, you got to get them while you can, because soon
Yeah,
they will
yeah.
dry up and be gone.
And also be dried and
Yeah.
not as tasty.
Yeah, that too.
So, Bonnie says she's still working on the holiday cookies. Nice. Yeah, I still have from the last batch. These were the batch of scones we hadn't made before the holidays that were clearly intended for holiday scones. Because earlier was made the eggnog flavored scones, of which I need to finish before they go bad
Mm,
because nom nom.
yeah. But my
With
my wife got had me get a pie crust because she found a recipe for eggnog pie.
Ooh.
And it's like she still hasn't made it. It's like, I want to drink the eggnog. Damn it.
Shake your fist, shake your
There.
fist. So, I did learn the hard way that no matter what the expiration date on the eggnog says, you probably wanna drink it within a week and a half of opening it, because
Yeah.
I gave myself food poisoning one year, and that was not my favorite. I, for a while, was starting off my holiday or my year with, not great methods. I think I had food poisoning, norovirus, flu 3 years back to back to back. So, I mean,
Mhm.
I started off the year with a little bit of weight loss, so that helped offset the calories I ate for the holidays.
Mhm.
I just remember getting lightheaded going upstairs, and it wasn't amazing.
Yeah, we have not opened the eggnog yet, so I'm more concerned about it's like, is when is it going to start becoming eggnog cheese? Uh,
Ooh, yeah, yeah.
but
So Bonnie is addicted to the oatmeal raisin chocolate chip. I'm a huge fan. I know some people call oatmeal raisin fool's chocolate. Um, some of them like it with the chocolate added or
see,
find it an acceptable substitute, but I'm a huge fan of both.
I'm sorry, oatmeal raisin chocolate chip is just the cookie of betrayal because it's like you've got chocolate chips in there to suck you in, and then you've got raisins to defeat you. No, I'm fine with oatmeal chocolate chip cookies, although some people say no, you can't have oatmeal chocolate chips in oatmeal, and it's like, why not? It's a cookie. Get out of
It
here.
is, it is. It's quite delicious. People can be wrong. It happens.
Yeah,
So I
but it's like,
don't. Mhm.
oddly enough, I do like raisins. I just don't like them baked into anything.
I mean, you can be wrong. That's fine.
I want my raisins on the side.
So I don't know if you were around or Doc, if you remember last year this time when I was talking about trying to make a dairy-free fudge.
I do remember you making lots of fudge and talking a lot about fudge
Yes.
and having
Yes.
to make special fudges for different people that had different dietary issues that you wanted
Yes.
to respect.
So I struggled a lot with making it dairy-free. Um, so I substituted the evaporated milk for coconut milk, and that was fine. But substituting the butter for like 2 sticks
Margarine.
of non-dairy substitute ended up with oil on top and a very soupy fudge, which,
Mhm.
while my fudge is usually pretty soft compared to store-bought stuff, it's not supposed to slosh.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
tried
sometimes the chemistry just doesn't work right.
yeah, so I tried the non-dairy substitute. I tried the Crisco, and both of those just did not work out right. So this time I tried one of the non-dairy, but with only 1 stick instead of the normal 2 sticks, and I think we've hit on something that has a slightly coconutty undertaste, but otherwise will work.
Yeah. That's
So
the kind of experimental cooking where you have to be prepared to do small batches until you can
I
figure out if it's right. You can't just say we're going to do this and it'll be perfect because it won't be.
so I haven't done different size batches because I only know what works for the full size, so I
Uh,
wouldn't know how long to boil it for.
even if you scale down the amount.
Yeah, no, because that would make the boiling time be less, but how much less, I don't know. And I'm trying to control for as few different changes as possible.
Yeah.
So instead, I make my 3-pound batch and hope for the best. And if it didn't work out, well, it tastes like fudge, and I'll try again next year. So,
Yeah.
um, Kelly suggests that there are some things you can't substitute. Butter is one of them, although I suggest salt free. Well, the recipe calls for a pinch of salt, so salt free doesn't really matter that much. I mean, salted chocolate is a thing. And I'm trying to make this for a friend of mine who is allergic to butter and dairy. So I can't really sub out the butter. But unlike baking, making fudge, you cannot do a 1-for-1 ratio substitution no matter what they say. So I think it turned out okay with the texture.
Yeah.
But if you are curious, my fudge recipe is 4.5 cups of sugar and a can of evaporated milk. You stir it until it looks like applesauce, and then you turn on the burner on about medium, bring it to a boil, wait 9 minutes, maybe turn it down a little while you're waiting for 9 minutes, and then you pour it over 18 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate morsels or whatever flavor morsels you want, 2 sticks of butter, and 3 tablespoons, not teaspoons, of vanilla. A pinch of salt goes somewhere, and you stir it, and it makes about 3 mini loaf pans or whatever you subdivide it out into.
See,
So
I
it's
really need Dylan Hollis telling us about this recipe.
sorry. So
No, I
Bonnie,
just love the way he does it. That's all.
yeah. So Bonnie says, yum to it all. And Kelly says, as well as reducing the amount of butter. Butter is one of those items in which a little goes a long way. Well, that's my recipe.
Yeah.
It's traditional and I use it and it works out really well. Bonnie is one of the marshmallow fudge fans, which is a very fluffy version of fudge. But yeah, so Kelly says my fudge sounds good. So it's a traditional thing I make every year and I give it to my friends. And the ones who love it really love it. The ones who like it like it. And as we're getting older, people are asking for smaller and smaller serving sizes because they might eat it all. So we are now at 6:31 and I should probably let my roommates out of the sunroom where they've been hiding from my live stream.
Mandatory cat content.
Cat content. Hi. Who's a pretty girl? Is that Gilly?
This is Gilly.
Yes.
Gilly is not feeling like being held today.
Well, that happens.
She wanted my attention. She was bugging me, but she doesn't want to be held. I think she wants to be fed.
Right. Yeah. So tell people where they can find you.
You can find me by going to your favorite search engine and putting in Doc Coleman Steampunk, and that should get you to my my Amazon author page and my webpage at doccoleman.com, and let you see what I've got out there, let you read samples at the Amazon author page, and decide if maybe my stories are right for you or someone you love.
Right.
Because there's only like, what, 350 some buying days until Christmas.
Right. And people might have birthdays or Earth Day. It makes a great Earth Day gift. So, and I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood. I'm here every Sunday at 4:30. This coming Monday, I'm back with the Query Helpline with Patrick Hopkins, where if you donate toward a reproductive rights organization, we will rewrite your first pages, query letter, or synopsis live on stream. We offer support offline as well, especially through his Facebook group. And this week, I'm talking about my 2022 retrospective. How much of my time on social media is not actually worth the investment? Check out my stats and tell me whether or not I'm wrong. This season, I finally kicked off season 6 of my podcast, Writing Tips and Writerly Musings. We're starting off with just a trailer, and I tossed the retrospective over on the podcast if that's where you prefer to get your content. And this week's author spotlight guest was Aaron Christopher Drown, an award-winning writer and freelance graphic designer. So I hope you had a great week. Thank you all for joining us, and hopefully you can make it back next week. Have fun. And Devin has a link if you want to check out more sprints and other writing activities. It's at tinyurl.com/authortube. Thank you, Devin, for doing this. Thank you all for joining us and have a great week. Bye-bye.